name is Kathleen Taylor, and I'm here today to talk to you about foster care. When I was 10 years old, my parents started foster care for Winona County, and throughout the years we've had about 42 kids in our home, and each child has made a special spot in our hearts because they've taught us different things. We've had various kids from ages anywhere from birth to 18 years old. I have knowledge in the foster care because my parents did foster care, and also, but I nanny the four foster kids here in Rochester, so I help the family that's fostering them take care of the boys. Understanding foster care is something that will help you in your community, as well as giving you the opportunity to maybe help the community by providing the foster families with things they might need, or just providing support and being able to listen. Today I will be teaching you what foster care is and how it works and how it affects the children that are in foster care and how you can be involved in helping the community around you. Many people wonder what foster care is and how does it work. So according to the state of Minnesota, under Section 1355.20, foster care means 24-hour substitute care for children placed away from their parents or guardians of whom the state agency has placed under the care or responsibility. So what it is when a child is in a home that they might feel they might be being abused or neglected, or there might be fear of that, they would take them out of their home and place them in a licensed foster home, so they have gone through the state and got all the licensing that they need done to be a foster family. So once the child's removed and they're put in the safety of foster homes, there's social workers and guardians ad litem appointed to the case. So these social workers are looking out for the best interests of the children. They're kind of like the children's lawyer when they go to court. So once you are placed in a foster care, you might be there for a short time or a long time, and they work on finding a permanent solution for the child or children. So maybe one child or a whole family. So the options could be adoption, return to the family, or maybe another family member, such as a grandparent or aunt, and then they'd remain in foster care they could remain in foster care until the age of 18. According to the Foster Care Analysis and Reporting Systems by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, in 2013, there was approximately 402,378 children in the foster care system, and 254 of those children were put in the foster system that year, in the 2013 year, and the average age of the child is about 8 years old. So the length of stay on average is about 33%, and you can see that on the graph. You might be wondering how children enter this foster system. So people might be entered due to, as I said earlier, abuse or neglect, or in extreme cases, sometimes a family crisis. And then there'd be no one to care for the family. So most cases are abuse or neglect, about 98% of them. So they could have been reported by a teacher or by a pastor or by someone that lives next door in the apartment, that they feel like those kids aren't being taken care of. So we've discussed what foster care is, and now we'll talk about how it affects the children in the foster care system. While foster care helps kids from newborn to 18, many people believe that they have been in the system forever. But in many cases, they are given a new life and are allowed to go back to a safer and new environment, or go back to their old environment and have that be a lot safer for them. This is Trent and Christian. They lived at my parents for 2 years, and they came from a home where the parents started working on getting the boys back, but when all said and done, after 11 months, they had not made enough progress to get the boys back, so they were adopted by a family friend that came forward, and so these boys were given the new opportunity to move. They moved to Texas, and they were able to have a better future with a family that actually wasn't able to have kids, and we still remain in contact with them. I'm Facebook friends with the mom, so we're able to see that. This is Miguel, who has lived with my parents for a year and a half, and he basically stole my heart. He came when I was about 18, and he came when we needed him the most. He kind of got out of a situation where we had a baby, and we needed someone to keep our minds busy, so he kept our minds busy, and he came around Christmas time. And so a really cool story about how another family helped ours was that he came right around Christmas, and we had my cousin's wedding, and a family member of the bride to my cousin actually donated $300 worth of Christmas presents, so he had his first Christmas, and it was really cool to be a part of. He started kindergarten and was able to have trial home visits, which were actually successful, and he is now back in his home. When you see those movies or TVs, people kind of get that stipulation that foster care is bad and that people do it for the money and that the kids are actually not in a safe environment, they're stacked up like plywood. But that's not the case. The state has a number of people that are allowed to be in the home, so they maybe only can have one or two foster kids, or another home might be able to have three or four, just depending on the space and the beds and how that all works out. So now that we have learned the ins and outs of foster care, we can learn how that all of you can help. There's a huge shortage of foster care homes, and having foster children in your home might not even be the right thing for you, but that's okay. There are other ways you can help. You can donate toys and clothes. So if you have kids that got new toys for Christmas or new clothes for their birthday, you might be able to donate their clothes and be able to drop it off at your local human services and tell them that you want to have it donated, and then they'll distribute it to the families that maybe would have that size clothes or that gender for the toys. Support your local families that are doing foster care. They might need extra furniture, or maybe making them a tie blanket. With the Girl Scout troop, we had a Girl Scout troop in my local community that donated 54 blankets, so those kids were able to get blankets and have something that was always theirs, even though they might not be in their own home, and they might come with absolutely no clothes. So most importantly, keep yourself aware of what's going on around you. Be aware that, yes, foster care is here, and yes, that there are kids that have been abused and neglected, but we're doing something to get them into the right home and get them on their feet so that they are able to make a better change. So now that you have knowledge of what foster care is, how it affects the children that are in the system, and how that others around you, you are able to share your knowledge and spread the word and help your local community. This might not even affect you directly, but you might be able to help someone you love or help someone that needs money or the time from your community and can be effective of abuse or neglect and help them with a better chance of being in their home safe. Each and every one of the 42 children that were at my parents' house touched my life in a special way, and allowing them to learn how important it is to help others and how to spend that through people of working in our community.